to introduce my very good friend, Yvonne. Come on up, darling.
Thank you. I love you. No. My name's Yvonne. I'm an addict. And I don't know who decided to put parenting in recovery at this hour of the night because my bedtime reminder just went off. Like, it's time for bed. So, right? I'm so nervous to be up here, but I'm also so honored that I was asked. I'm good friends with the programming chair, and he knows my family situation and my children, and he thought I would be a good candidate for this topic. And being a parent for me is very rewarding. It's one of the greatest things that I've ever been able to do in my life, yet it's the most challenging thing that I've ever had to do in my life. I was fortunate enough, my story, I didn't get pregnant until I was 3.5 years clean. So my children have never seen me use, and hopefully that'll continue that way. So my daughter now is 13, and I have a son who is 11. When they were first born, I was very excited. When I was in early recovery, I was never getting married and I was never having kids because I was really selfish, right? Life was all about me and using and finding ways and means to get more. But then this recovery thing happened, right? And all of a sudden my life changed, and my needs and my wants and what my life was going to look like changed. So when I got pregnant, I was really excited. When my kids were born, so excited to be a mom. I had this idea of what being a parent to children would look like, and it certainly did not go that way. My daughter was diagnosed with autism when she was 2.5 years old. So she has autism, developmental delay, and seizure disorder. She's nonverbal, and life is very challenging with her. I get a lot of help from a lot of different services that I have fought very, very hard for. The government and the system we have today does not come easily, the help. But I am a huge advocate for my children. And I like to help other families and other parents too. Let them know what services are out there to help their children with special needs. In my early recovery, once the kids were born, I wanted to move back down south so I could be close to my parents and my family. So we left North Bay and moved to Brantford. And I was really happy to be down there. The kids flourished. Things were going great. My daughter was in a special school. She was given a service dog, which was a blessing. When I was 3.5 years clean when she was born, I was going to meetings, I had a sponsor, I was doing step works, I was doing all the recovery dues, right? Once we moved down south and she was diagnosed and we had to start doing all these programs and schools and therapies, my recovery took a back burner. I very rarely went to meetings. I would go, like if my friends were celebrating or something, or if I was really hurting and I needed a meeting, I knew I had to go. But my recovery there was no time for it. We ended up moving a little bit further out of the city to a different area, and I didn't like the meetings there. They were not my favorite place to be, so being at home with the kids became more comfortable. My husband worked out of town a lot, so it was just me and the kids for a long time, maybe 3 or 4 years, with very little help. So that became very stressful. To say that I didn't feel like using, I did, lots of times. But at least at that time I still had a sponsor that I was calling, so I was able to pick up the phone and reach out. But the not going to meetings was pretty hard. The not working on myself and the not taking care of myself, the self-care, doing all those things, it was pretty difficult. I was very happy when we decided to move back up north so I could be with my northern family. And I got back into recovery. I'm so nervous. Oh God, I I was very happy to move back up north and be with my northern family. North Bay and Sudbury are so many amazing people that I was really glad to get reconnected with everybody again. And I realized that like it's time for me and I need to take care of myself. Like the kids were a bit older now. They still have issues. They still deal with a lot, but I knew that I needed to do something for myself or else I was going to end up going back out eventually, and I didn't want that. I didn't want my kids to see me use, and I know I didn't want to go back to that lifestyle, right? So I just made sure that I got back into the program. I have not been working on step work with my new sponsor yet, but we're getting there. But I do have a sponsor that I talk to on occasion. I have a fantastic home group. I can't lie. It's on occasion. I do have a fantastic home group and a really great group of ladies that I can trust and I can confide in.
Yeah, you do.
I do. So yeah, this last year has been super hard. My daughter, like I said, she's nonverbal. So when I send her away somewhere, not knowing what's actually going on is so difficult, right? So she has mobility issues, and at the beginning of the year, she was put on a wheelchair bus because she can't walk up and down stairs very well. Well, they decided to use that wheelchair all year. That I just found out that they're using it in the school all the time. I just got it back today, actually, before I came. Because now she's having problems walking because she's seated all day. She doesn't want to walk when she's home. She gives everybody a hard time. So I've taken that away. Just one of those other things that I have to do to advocate on a regular basis for her, right? Yeah. So my son, I love my son so much. He is his father's son. What I love about my son is that he also grew up in recovery too. He knows about active addiction. He knows about the horrors of addiction. He also knows about recovery, right? He hears all the positive things that recovery has given our family and our friends. He comes to celebrations. He comes to meetings. His whole family, outside of his biological family, is recovery. We're very open and honest with him, especially at his age at 11. I had a conversation with him the other day because something came up on my news feed about a child dying of an overdose. And I wanted him to see that. It was very difficult. He started crying, but I'm like, this is what happens when you pick up. I'm like, you don't know what you're getting, so you need to be careful. So having those conversations with him so early, I'm very grateful that recovery has given me that opportunity to be open and honest with him about that. He knows that his father has spent time in jail. He knows a little bit of my past, not so much, more of his dad's, but we'll get there eventually with him. With him, one thing I really love is when he crawls in bed with me at night still at 11 years old, like he did 2 nights ago. If he asks me if he can sleep with me, I'm all about that, and I will never say no. Usually those are the times when he wants to have those conversations, right? Those tough conversations, or tell me about his day or something that was going on, and I will always welcome that because I know that there's going to come a time when he's not going to want to cuddle with mom anymore. I know that both my kids have their own higher power and that their lives will go in the direction that they're meant to go on, and I can only do what's best to help guide them in that direction. I can be a role model for them. I can try to teach them right from wrong as best I can, and just hope that eventually that they'll grow up to be decent human beings, right? I don't care what it is that they do as long as they're kind, kind, loving people. Oh my God. That's only been a couple minutes. I have a couple notes in here. Let me find them. Maybe I'll think of something. Oh, thank you. I don't know. I think about this last year, and the biggest thing for me was just getting myself back, right? Because me being happy and me taking care of myself means that I can be a better parent, right? Like there was some cranky times there when I was cranky with my kids because I wasn't getting the care I needed, right? And I saw that too, and I would talk to my son about that. I'd be like, I'm sorry that I was like that today. I was having a bad day, and I shouldn't have done that or taken that out on you or whatever. And he does that too. Like, he looks at me, he's like, Mom, did you have a good day today? Like, you seem like you're kind of down today. You could use a hug. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. And that just turns my whole day around, right? So I try to be as positive as I can around him. I also, the starting your day over when you have a bad day is something that I've taught him too, because he'll have a really crappy day at school and come home and be upset. And I'm like, yeah, but now you have all this free time at night. Like, let's do something fun and change your day around, right? And that goes for the same with me. If something happens at work or in the morning or something, I know that I can have a reset and start my day over, and that things can be okay. I try to set limits with my son, because having two parents that are addicts, we know where that might go, right? So even with the video games, the phones, the food with my daughter, trying to set limits on those at a young age is very important, and something that I'm really trying to do, especially more so with my daughter and the food now, because she'll just eat and eat and eat and eat until she's sick. So trying to stop that stuff and trying to get them to do things in moderation is something else that we've been working on for a while. So for my son, I just like to be there for him, right? I like to just make sure that I can be available whenever he needs me. My parents growing up, there was no like affection. There was no come tell me about your day. It was like, there was nothing. Like, we sat in front of the TV, we ate, my dad went upstairs to his room and watched TV and went to bed. My mom watched TV down here, and then that was it. And I was just left to do my own thing. So I feel that the way I'm raising my kids is completely different than the way I was raised. I just want to give them as much love and affection that I can, and let them know that they can come to me no matter what. I think that's really important, having that open and honest relationship with your kids as much as possible. It's not always easy, that's for sure. I know as he gets a little older, there's going to be conversations I don't want to have with him, but we got to do the hard things, right? I'm kind of, I don't want to say relieved, but I'm glad that I'm not raising a 13-year-old normal kid in today's society, because I think that I would struggle with that. Just the way things are today, it's so different than when we were kids, right? And so as much as I love Susie, and I love spending time with her and trying to do the girly things with her, I'm glad that there's just some things that she's not going to get into, because I don't have to have those conversations with her. I don't have to worry about certain things with her, so that's kind of a relief. I'm really grateful for the other parents in recovery that show me what it's like to be a good parent too, that I've learned from. Because when I had my kids up here, I didn't have my parents up here. There's somebody that's not with us anymore. Her name was Leslie, and she helped me a lot in my early recovery, look after my kids and teach me what it was about to be a mom. And she spent a lot of time with me, showing me how to care for them and just basic things, some things that I didn't know. And so I'm really grateful for her and for those other moms and dads in early recovery that helped me. My daughter grew up in the rooms, but from she was born till she was 2 years old, she was at every meeting. It's because at that time I was still going to 4 or 5 meetings a week because I could. I wish I could go to that many meetings, but there's soccer 5 nights a week now. I'm so proud of my son for making the travel team, but there goes my me time. But that's okay. I like spending it with him and doing the things that make him happy. And hopefully keeping him in those sports and stuff, extracurricular activities will keep him away from the drugs, right? Here's hoping. My parents today, I have a good relationship with them, and it's thanks for me being in recovery, right? I was able to show them that I'm a different person and apologize and make amends for the things that I did when I was a kid and when I was using. And so that definitely has helped my relationship, and they get to be in the lives of my children, which I'm really grateful for. Like I said, it's definitely not easy. Anybody that has kids knows there's ups and downs, and some days are harder than others, and some days I cry and I cry and I cry, and the next day everything's rainbows. I definitely, I've learned to reach out to other special needs moms a lot more these last couple of years. My daughter's also very aggressive, and sometimes she's 2-to-1, not just 1-to-1, so I do have a lot of help and a lot of respite. So that definitely helps. There are days where it's extremely overwhelming, and I would like to be anywhere else but at home with my kids. So those are the days that those phone calls really help. Those are the days when I try to reach out as much as I can, because I need my tribe of people, right? Like, I need people in my life that are going to help me through the hard times, and I'm just grateful for all those people that I have. I don't know, my kids are my world. Parenting is hard. No matter the age, no matter the gender, no matter the ability or disability, parenting is stressful. And all we can do is love and support each other through it and not judge each other and be there for each other, right? So I wish you guys all a good 24, and that's all I got.
On behalf of ORCNA, I'd like to thank Yvonne for sharing her experience, strength, and hope with us. Please join in a circle to close this meeting with the wee version of the Serenity Prayer.
For the addict who walked by and didn't know that we were in here, and that they haven't found their way to NA yet. So let's take that moment now. Who brought us here?
God, grant us serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back, first we work it, so work it, you're worth it.
I'm so sorry.